Are they all yours? How can you do it? I can't even handle my two. Isn't it expensive having that many kids? These are many of the questions that people often ask those with a large family. I know as the youngest of 5 children myself, I've been asked my share of embarrassing or even offensive questions. So today I would like to speak with you a little bit more about large families, where they come from, their image, the Hollywood portrayal, and also some great benefits of the large family, in hopes that you will one day not be so critical or judgmental on the union of a large family, but instead would learn to embrace it just as much as I do. So to begin, let's start talking about the reputation of a large family. Oftentimes, it tends to attract a lot of attention, and people of large families tend to be interrogated by others. People want to know, how do you do it? How do you maximize your time? Do you have privacy? Isn't it a lot of people? Do you ever have personal attention? Things of that sort. But at the same time, although large families can lack in certain areas, they do make up for it in other ways, such as they provide an amazing support system that will allow others in it, or rather those members of it, to feel very safe and secure. Another really interesting thing that I've learned throughout my research regarding this topic is that oftentimes I've viewed large families as being those with 5 or 6 children or more. Today, in modern day times, a lot of people are considering those with 3 or more children to be large families. With more sports activities and after school events that are going on, and working parents, people don't find it quite as practical to have as many children, unfortunately. But what they don't realize is that they're actually missing out on a great opportunity to have an amazing bond, and even to implement some great skills in their children as well. So I would also like to speak with you about the Hollywood portrayal of large families. In Hollywood, we see a lot of actors and actresses, and even films that show large families in different capacities. I know there are quite a few actors and actresses who have large families, including Denzel Washington, who has 4 children, Shaquille O'Neal with 5, Reverend Run, and also Brad Pitt and Angelina with 6 children, and even Eddie Murphy and Mel Gibson with 7 children. And even in the films, you'll notice that a lot of people are very attracted to the large family, as it can be quite entertaining. And you'll notice this in films such as Cheaper by the Dozen, which you'll see here. Sorry about that. Cheaper by the Dozen, which showcases 12 children, all happy, as you can see. And it discusses the struggles that large families have. Sure, they don't necessarily have as much money in the beginning, but at the same time, they have so much love, and a complete abundance of love that other people don't necessarily have. So you'll notice that in films such as Cheaper by the Dozen, such as Yours, Mine, and Ours. You'll see it on television shows like John and Kate Plus 8, and even 18 Kids and Counting. I think America right now, despite the complexities and difficulties of having a large family, is very uniquely attracted to the entertainment and the joy that large families can bring. In addition to these attributes, I would also like to discuss with you how in so many cases there are some amazing benefits, not just for the parents but also for the children, with being a part of a large family. I know, like I said, I'm the youngest of 5 children. As you'll see, here's a picture of myself and my family. I'm obviously on the far left side, but as far as my family, I tend to be, I've learned to gain some tough skin as a result of being a part of this union. I've learned to develop a lot of confidence because, and unlike some children, I was teased at home. I was teased at home a lot more, although I wasn't teased at school so much. But because of that, I was able to develop a tough skin in life, and didn't allow others to push me over, and also didn't take things too seriously when someone said something that was harsh or sarcastic to me. Another really great attribute of large families is that despite their common misconception of being very expensive, large families can actually cut back in a lot of ways. In many cases, parents of large families oftentimes, budget appropriately or accurately to suit the needs of their children, but they also have implemented the hand-me-down system, which I know all too well. And in addition to that, they receive great discounts and also tax breaks from having so many children as well. And even in the home, having more children, despite the fact that it can bring so much joy to one's life, it also allows parents to implement responsibility in their children. Children are more likely to have chores. They help out around the house. They cook. Sometimes they clean. They even take care of their younger siblings, which helps them, both the older sibling as well as the younger sibling, to mature faster as well. And lastly, one of my favorite aspects of the large family is actually the amount of support that I've received. Because my family is so large, there's so many people. I remember growing up, there were a lot of people to play with. If one sibling didn't want to play with me, I was like, that's fine, I'm going to play with another sibling. And so I always had a buddy. There was always a buddy system in place. And even there were so many more people to support me when I had performances and activities that I felt were really important to me. And so with that being said, the next time that you walk down the street, I hope that you reflect on the benefits and even images that I've placed in your mind as far as the large family. It's not quite as tragic as it may seem. It's not hopeless. It's not destructible, but rather it's such an unbreakable bond between so many people, and it can create some beautiful memories because there's always something going on, a lot of happy times, and even during the dark hours, it creates and fosters more integrity and responsibility in each individual as a part of it. And so I hope that with my speech you take away the fact that large families should be respected, and hopefully you have an understanding of that from my perspective, and that you too understand that perhaps one day you can even enjoy this special union yourself someday.